No time. We are live. It is the Sound Advice podcast and live stream or live stream and podcast, whichever it comes first. And I'm always, as usual, joined with my partner in crime, Toys DIY Audio. Tell us what's new, man.
This shirt is new, actually. But
All
other than
right.
that, not much. I got that 21-inch video out of that subwoofer that a lot of people were waiting on. So I was very excited to get that out. And I had quite a few good receptions on that. It's nice, too, to be able to see how room gain actually works with a big subwoofer like that.
Well, I'm blown away by the brace assembly that you built for that enclosure. What in the hell, man? what was that beast?
I mean, that is the power of SketchUp and a CNC. And I will tell you too, I'm going to sell those too. If someone wants a 21-inch subwoofer kit, I'll have those flat packs for sale. I don't have them on my website yet, but if someone really wants one now, you just got to message me. And best way is through my forum typically, but or email.
So how much would you sell the flat pack kit for that MDF, right? How much would the flat pack kit? How much would it be? I can't talk.
I need to do some idea of how much it's going to cost for shipping first, but it's probably going to be in the $300 range would be my guess. I mean, it takes 2 sheets of plywood. I mean, it takes 2 sheets of MDF. So just the MDF alone is over what, like close to $150, you know?
And so, and you built 2 of them. How much is the subwoofer, by the way? And where can you buy the subwoofer?
Oh, you buy a Matty Sound. It's I think it's like $400, somewhere in that range. It varies, like everything else in this world.
That's not too bad for a subwoofer that big. Because as I was prepping for this show, I didn't know if I wanted to put a mammoth subwoofer from Parts Express, and like their big 21-inch drivers are, they can be $1,000, and that's a lot of money for a subwoofer.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too that I would put one on there if I didn't just have 221 built. And you know what? I was right. It's 478, so I guess it's closer to 500.
Let me take a minute to say hi to. Oh, excuse me.
Oh, by the way, I like that name, Nick Pantazzi, because I like the name Nick. That's a good name.
Yeah. Say hi to people in the chat. I see some familiar faces. We see Blake and David K and El Fuego is here. I think I saw Bobby in here. I recognize the image there of the what do you call the little icon? That's one of my newer subscribers to my channel has been commenting
the QR
a lot.
code.
Yeah. No, what do you call the name of your image on YouTube? Your profile picture,
avatar.
I guess. Yeah, something like that. Let's go with that. So it's good to see everybody in the chat. So the plan for the hi from Essex, England. That's a long way from home right there.
And like really late too.
Right. Glad to have you tuning in. So our premise for the show tonight is, Nick, just imagine that it is Christmas morning. And Santa Claus has shown up overnight, and he has left for you under the Christmas tree the most amazing thing ever. And I'm reminded of when I was a kid. When I was a kid, there was this thing called the Sears catalog, and they had the Christmas wish book, and the parents would hand it to you and tell you to circle some stuff. But you knew you couldn't circle some stuff. You just knew Santa Claus wasn't going to bring you the giant G.I. Joe volcano tower, or the Battlestar Galactica Lego, or the, you know what I'm saying? You could get the Star Wars toys. You knew you weren't going to get a Millennium Falcon, so you didn't circle it. But let's imagine that, Santa Claus will let you circle the Millennium Falcon of home or car audio. What are you circling in the wish book?
Oh, so here's the deal. First of all, we also got someone from Mauritius in here, which I believe is off the coast of Africa. So that's pretty cool.
I'm really bad at my world geography. My whole rest of my family would be appalled. I didn't know what that was. So. But it sounds someplace extremely exotic and cool. So
it does. Let me go ahead and share you my screen, because here's the first thing that I do. So I build a lot of speakers. So I don't always want speakers, although I do have some speakers on this list. What I really want is something to power my speakers. And so I have both on here, amplifiers and surround sound receivers. And I want to start off with surround sound receivers. So let me pull that up. Oh, I have the SPN's radio also there. And this guy, have you ever seen this before? The Rotel Rap 1580 MK2.
I feel like I'm spending too much time on Crutchfield with the drool coming outside of my cheek looking at some of this stuff. And I've seen it on Crutchfield. I don't know anything about the brand Rotel, but I know it looks sexy as hell.
It does. And they also make like if you mix it with Velveeta cheese, you can have an awesome dip. Different Rotel completely. So let's talk about this Rotel. This Rotel is actually Rotel has been making high-end amplifiers for a very long time, and now they're in the home theater receiver business. And this is really cool because this is a 7.1 channel receiver that also has Dirac Live on it. Now we talk about Dirac Live a lot because that's one of the ways that it's going to calibrate your room and all your speakers in it. So it's going to auto calibrate that for you. And Dirac Live is by far the best one out there. The cool thing about this particular one is that it actually allows you to purchase the optional upgrade for Dirac Live, which does a full frequency correction and does improved dialogue and music imaging. And that's something that you can't always do. So there's different versions of Dirac Live, and a lot of people don't realize this. So this allows you to do that higher end tier of Dirac Live along with it. And the other thing that we talk about
for $5,500, you don't get the upgraded Dirac, or you do?
I know it doesn't seem like you. No, you have to pay $100 for the upgrade. If you have 5,500, you have to spend the other 100. I know, but that comes right from Dirac Live. I'm assuming that has something to do with probably a licensing thing with Dirac Live. But the fact that you can upgrade it is nice.
Yeah, my understanding with most devices that can run Dirac is a software thing, right? So the hardware just it's a software thing. Lord have mercy! Look at the heat sink.
I know. Look at all those heat and the turtle. I mean, everything here is
how many channels?
It's seven powered channels. And if you take a look at the back, one of the things that we always talk about is preamps. It has pre-outs for 11.1.
Thing right there. It's frustrating to me that in order to get pre-outs for 11.1 or even 5.1, you've got to go for high-end stuff, right?
Because spend $5,500.
Right. Spend $5,500. It has all that nice internal amplifier, probably clean as hell, and you're not going to use it because you're going to hook up to a bunch of big PA amps or something that are probably nowhere near as good sound quality, but are just huge.
Now, this one I would definitely use some built-in amplifiers. So pre-outs are nice though if you want to add like more Dolby Atmos ones, like if you're doing like a 7.4.1. It also has balanced inputs. It has the ground for the for your antenna for like a record player, has all your 12-volt triggers and HDMI 2.2. I mean, you take a look at it, it really has everything you could possibly want that I can think of.
So our good friend, the notorious RVH, Robert Mann, the premise of this show is not the stuff you can afford. This is totally, like I said at the beginning, you must have missed it.
Yeah.
This is if you really could circle the cool stuff in the catalog back in the day. I guess I probably would have circled something from the Victoria's Secret catalog, but I couldn't afford anything in that one either. By golly.
All right, before we go too far, and this is a preamp and an amplifier, so that's really nice. Before we go too far, I'm going to also show you this one because this would be my second one on the list, which is the Arcam AVR 31.
Oh wow!
And they also make really high end stuff. This one's actually more expensive, but I would take the Rotel over it for a couple of reasons. One, this doesn't do a HDMI 2.2, so there's that. But this one does have a 16 channel pre-out.
16
channels. So I think it's a 15.2. Yeah, 15.2 preamp. Can you imagine if you had like a big room doing a 15.2 channel? Unfortunately, there's not enough information on how they do the actual processing of that, because I'd like to see, like, can you put like a bunch of rear surrounds for like every row of seats? And it
at 16.2, you really are at the point where, it's not a home theater system. It is an actual theater in your home, right? And
yeah, really.
And thank you, David K, for A, telling us to hit the like button, and B, dropping the $20 super chat. Those super chats are always nice. They make us they help us know if we're doing the right thing. So hey, here's one in the chat that I think is really kind of cool. What are your thoughts on the Alpine Status? Are you familiar with that product?
No, I'm assuming it's going to be an amplifier of some kind.
So this is basically a set of car audio parts. I thought about putting it on my list, but I didn't put it on my list because I was going to put expensive stuff on my list. So the stuff on my list is even more unaffordable than Alpine status. I think
Oh
sometimes they
wow.
call it the F1 or the F1 status. It is Alpine's premier like Halo, even though Halo's what they call some of their car stereos, it is their Halo product. Um,
What?
oh goodness, you can afford anything. You just may need a new wife after the purchase.
That's actually true.
So apparently, I have my numbers wrong. Apparently, the F1 status is $35,000, and so
Yeah.
apparently, I should have put it on my list because my goal was the stupid expensive stuff. But it's supposed to be their next generation that will eventually trickle down to the rest of us in 20 years.
So here's the deal. Here's what I think about Alpine. I don't know a lot because I'm not. I don't follow car audio as much as a lot of you guys. But in general, and maybe this is me, Justin. I don't have a great perception of Alpine anymore. And I like Alpine. I think they're good, but I think they're quality. But I never think I felt them as like high end. I just felt them like the highest of like the mid tier, if that makes sense.
I think
Or
that
high of mid tier, I should say.
I think that there are higher end brands out there, and like any brand, there's usually multiple tiers. Like I think of a company like Yamaha. Yamaha has high end stuff and less high end stuff.
Sure.
But I think you're right. I think that they're maybe not as high end as they once were perceived to be, because once upon a time Alpine was the.
That's true.
I'm not sure.
And you know what else too? I feel like if I was
One of us
spending
is
that much, I'd
lagging.
probably yeah. I was gonna say I think I'd go with Focal maybe if I was going that much.
Full cow.
Focal, however you want to say
I
it.
think I'm lagging a little bit. Is that me or you?
That's you.
Focal.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got something I want to add to the stream here. Moving away from sound quality items, this is one of those things that is. I mean, the thing about an item like this, not many people are going to use it. I can't imagine that Sundown sells very many of these. So those who don't know, this is the Nightshade. This is their top of the line big SPL subwoofer. This is what you use if you're just trying to hit big SPL numbers. And look at the magnet hanging off the back of that thing. That is just stupid, that magnet. Let's see if I can zoom in. There we go. I don't know what to say about this. This is just one hell of a machine right here.
Dude, how many Neo magnets are in there?
I don't know, man. I'm just blown away by the engineering and the structural the structural bits of this thing. Huge high roll surround. What you got to remember, this is an 18, right? And so that surround is bigger than you think because it's just so darn huge. The spider is probably 10 inches or bigger on this sucker. And again, this is one of those things. I can't imagine it sounds good. It's just a straight up, let's just soak up a ton of power and see if we can push on that meter. And so this is, this is the thing that if I were a really good boy, if Santa Claus were going to bring me my favorite thing, it would be a Nightshade.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird looking at a subwoofer like that with the Neo magnets because the magnets are so like, like small but long. It's just interesting. That looks really cool though.
I imagine these are probably hand built to order, and I just can't imagine. I mean, how many they sell. Blake is in the chat, and I think about how Digital Designs has their hand built subwoofers that they hand build them because they can get away with hand building them because they don't need to make 20,000 of them overnight in a factory.
That's true.
All right, so that is the thing I would love to see under the Christmas tree. Well, you got another one, Nick?
Yeah, well, since we're talking about those, I want to talk about another amplifier, but this one would be more for like if you're going to be doing, if you're going to be doing stereo, or if you just want to upgrade your amplifiers, the Macintosh MA5300. In general, I would take pretty much any Macintosh. Are you there, Justin?
Oh, I was sorry. I was
Oh no,
Still
that's
have
fine.
still have this nagging cough, and so I'm muting a lot.
That's fine. So Macintosh MA5300, this has a stereo integrated amplifier. It does have a built-in DAC as well. Just in general, I think the Macintosh look beautiful. And it doesn't have to be necessarily this one. It could be any of them. It's not necessarily the most powerful, 100 watts at 8 ohms, 160 watts at 4 ohms, but it is supposed to be very, very good with total harmonic distortion. And honestly, if I have this much money and I didn't care, I'm going for looks, man. And the looks of that is so cool. And I love that bright blue and the green together.
When you're paying $6,000 for a 200-watt amplifier, I just you're playing an entirely different game than most mere mortals play.
Well, it is a DAC as well, but it does also have balanced inputs, which is very nice to have. I love it. I do. And there are other Macintosh amps I would take, but if I got the choice, I'd probably choose this one.
If we're talking about what Santa Claus is going to make up in the North Pole and bring down to us, yeah, I'll take one, right? I'll circle that one in the catalog. But these aren't things I don't think most people would ever buy with their own money. It's a wow.
I don't know. A lot of people buy Macintosh, so like I said, I don't have $6,000 to spend on an amplifier right now. But if I did, that would definitely be one of the ones I would share. Would love to have.
I don't know. I'm thinking 6 $1,000 amplifiers in the real world, but no, this isn't real world. This is pure dream. This is what would you do if you could do anything you want? Well, speaking of really huge amplifiers, if you're going to run some of those nightshades, well, you need something to power those nightshades. So you need something like this right here. This is the Salt 12. It's a 12,000 watt Salt series. Now, I don't understand the nomenclature for these. I have no idea the different series of amplifiers that Sundown makes. But look at this thing. It's got, let's see here. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. Triple inputs for power and ground, triple zero gauge, 12,000 freaking watts. And it probably does far more than that because these things are just built so well. I know nothing about the internals of amplifiers, but damn, look at all those capacitors and transformers. It just seems like it's packed full of parts.
I like the fan.
You're a fan?
No, I said I like the fan.
You're a fan of the fan?
Yeah, I like the fan, and look at all the capacitors too. I mean, that's nice to see all those capacitors in there.
It's just insane. I wouldn't know what to do if I got one of these. And think about the electrical upgrades you would need to run a 12K amp.
You know what? That's the problem. Like, I don't know enough about the electrical system in a car to be able to know exactly what you'd have to do. I'm assuming you're going to need a ton of batteries, alternators, all kinds of stuff, but I don't know exactly what.
You at the very least you need a high output alternator and a giant stack of lithium batteries.
A high output. Yeah, that's saying something. I mean, it's only 20,000 watts. I mean, geez.
Right. Oh, 12,000 actually. So it's just only the Salt 12. So,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Because Blake had said you can get over 20,000 watts from it. So I don't know why I had it mixed between 20,000 and 12,000. Nick needs to get a Fostex. Oh, good.
What's that? A Fostex? What? I think I saw that.
Oh, he said there's a 31-inch sub for $5,900. I'll tell you what. It's Notorious RVH. I'll tell you what. Goes. If Fostex wants to send me a 31-inch sub, I will build a box for it. And then I will let my neighbors a few acres away know that I'm here.
Yeah, if anyone out there watching works for a company that sells 31-inch subwoofers, I would gladly build an enclosure for those. So send them my way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll probably need a pair of high output alternators and a giant stack of lithium batteries. So there you go. That it would take a phenomenal electrical system to run something like this.
That's something you would definitely do. Like if you're just like into SPL, right? Like that's a big SPL style amplifier.
Yeah, this is what you run, 4 of those Sundown nightshades on.
That's one of the things I like about Scott, because Scott Dilbeck, if you guys know him, he actually drives his excursion, which he takes to SPL competitions. Because there's so many people that like have these ones for competition that they don't even drive; they like cart places. I like the fact that when I see people like actually driving them, and then they blow apart their car while they're driving them. Like that's even cool. Someday I want to see it like go down the road with one of these in there and a bunch of those subwoofers you showed, going down the road, stop at a stoplight, turn that on. I just want to see the wheels fly off. Like, explain that to insurance.
I think most people who run those big base competition vehicles that trailer them in, they all started with taking a daily driver, adding some subwoofers, getting a dedicated vehicle, putting a load of subwoofers in. They all started driving them to shows, right? You drive them to a show until you can afford not to, and then you haul them in.
That is pretty amazing. You're probably right. A lot of people, you're right, do that.
Yeah, probably need new speaker wires. Yeah, you might need some upgrades. Right. It's a beast of a machine. Are they strappable? I'm not sure if they're strappable or not. All right. Do you have something else on your ultimate Christmas wish list, Nick?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where I want to go. Do I want to go televisions or speakers? We've been talking a lot about speakers, so I kind of want to switch it up. So I think what I'm going to do is go projector on you.
Let's do it. Let's see a projector.
I have a couple different projectors. I'm going to just share my regular projector first, because there's ultra short throw projectors and then there's regular projectors, which is what you're used to. So I'm going to show you the regular projector. This is a JVC DLA NZ9R. Jeez, can they come up with like a more convoluted name? I mean, for crying out loud. It's a native 4K home theater projector with 8K E-shift. And what that basically means is it takes a 4K incoming signal and then it shifts the pixels so that it looks like you have 8K. And they've been doing this with projectors for a long time. They've been doing this with 1080p projectors to make them look like they're 4K. And the E-shift is usually so good that you can't tell a difference. So you don't actually need an 8K signal to get 8K, which is really cool with this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you look at it, it is a laser projector. And the thing that I love about this too, which a lot of people are going to think is silly, but it also does 3D, which I'm a big fan of as well. So automatic HDR, HDR10, HDR10 plus.
Yeah, the 3D didn't last like it didn't take off like they thought it would.
And it didn't. But you know what? I was talking to some people actually at JVC. Was talking to them, and they said that 3D took back off during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know why, but they sell. So in order for this projector or any JVC projector for that matter that I know of at least to get 3D, it requires this little emitter. Okay, once again, doesn't come with it. You got to pay for the upgrade. It's only $26,000, and you have to pay for the $130 part to get 3D. But yeah, so you have to pay for that upgrade, and they were selling out. They were on back order of people buying them, and I don't know what that's about, but just so you know,
that's okay. Let me ask a question.
Yeah,
what do you get in a $26,000 projector that you don't get in, say, the $100 projector you've been testing out that turned out really well?
$100 projector is really good for $100. It really is. I'm not going to say anything bad about this. So instead, I'm going to go with more like a $3,500 one to this. You're going to get like the 8K E-shift, which we talked about, and you're going to get a much more. So when you're projecting an image, you got to remember that like an image that you're looking at a TV projects towards you. Right. So that's why like a lot of people say they get eye strain at night and things of that nature, is because literally the light's shining in your eyes. A projector is doing the exact opposite. It's projecting onto the screen, and it's not projecting necessarily like directly out at your eyes. It's projecting onto a screen first. And so because of that, you can lose a lot of contrast. You can lose a lot of brightness, some of the so like when we talk about high dynamic range, you can lose some of that. And with the $25,000 or $26,000 ones, those are the things that you're going to recover, and it's going to look more like a higher end television. It's never going to look like a high end television, so please don't get that right. But it's going to look more like one.
So I really think this is keeping with the theme. You're showing home theater, but this is, if I were putting a movie theater in my home, what would I be doing? That's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, and I think you're right, but I like the idea too of taking a 4K signal and like bringing it up to 8K. Like that'd be cool. But if I were to buy this, you have to purchase this with it. which is the Elite Screens Eon Gray Cine Gray AT screen. So AT is acoustically transparent, because if you're going to do that, you can go with a really big screen. This is 120 inch. You can go with the bigger one. They sell it bigger. It's acoustically transparent. You can stick your speakers behind it, shout out. And not only is it acoustically transparent, it's also ALR, which stands for ambient light rejection, which means that you can turn on your lights and watch your projector in the room.
I got you. That makes sense.
So not every screen is ALR, and very few are ALR and acoustically transparent. Usually you have to choose one or the other. So
all right,
that's it. That's my little 10 minutes of get yourself that awesome $26,000 projector. I didn't put any car audio on my wish list, or did I?
That's interesting. Okay, so let's do some more car audio on my end. And now I'm going to shift gears entirely. What I've done so far has been stupid, loud SPL stuff. Why don't we do some sound quality? So this is the Morel Elate Carbon Pro 93A. And so if you kind of wonder what that means, the 93, the 9 is the size of the woofer in the set. So this is a 3-way set, and it has a 9-inch woofer. So you have what amounts to almost a 10-inch driver as part of your 3-way component set. So this right here is like perfect for that high-end sound quality setup, if you can find a place to put a 9-inch driver in the front of your car.
That is actually really cool.
All carbon, right? I mean, the carbon actually looks pretty good. Carbon fiber can look bad if it's not done right, but it's done right. They have those cool grills. I think they call them the octopus grill, the octo grills.
They almost kind of look like a rim.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
To me, at least.
So I mean, it's only $3,099, but it is on sale for $390.90 off right now. So you can run get you one of these right now on sale.
That's one of the things that we know that Morel in general puts a lot of research into their drivers. They build their own drivers, and they're usually very good sounding.
It's kind of cool. It comes with some grill putty. It comes with some speed clips. All right. It comes with some screws. They even throw in the screws. They even throw on the crimp-on female quick slides. So like everything you need right there. Grills are included, right? That got the cutout diameters listed everywhere. So see the woofer cutout 7 7/8 of an inch. You can probably fit those. Right? Now you can fit them somewhere. And it's a 200 watt RMS setup there. So there you go. And I don't know if they come with crossovers. There aren't any in the picture. So my guess is that you can't use these without some additional processing. So you probably need a digital signal processor. And what's $1,000 for a digital signal processor after you've invested $3,000 in your speakers, right?
Well, I see a DSP up there. Do you want to just pull one up?
Do I have a DSP up here?
Are those audio controls not?
I've got one on my list, but I don't have it pulled up. So I'll pull it up in here in just a second, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought that audio control was a DSP.
It is not. It is not.
Well,
but I have a different DSP on my wish list.
Okay. Well, so you have to get your DSP if you get those Morels with it. Absolutely.
I don't know if y'all saw this or not, but I just reviewed that cheap head unit from maxspeedingrods.com, Android unit. And that sucker had 8 channels of RCA outputs, and it had an actual legitimate digital signal processor on that thing. And so there you go. That $200 head unit, and these $3,000 speakers, and you're set.
And what else did it have, Justin?
Oh, it had Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it had like everything you need. Oh, and a volume knob.
I was thinking the 4-volt output on the RCAs. Wasn't it 4 volts?
Right. There were 4-volt outputs, and they were clean. They didn't clip, so they didn't distort.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're going to hook that up, you might as well just put speakers everywhere. That's great.
And yeah, I still have that. I uploaded the video this last weekend, so it was sitting on my desk a minute ago. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah, I've still got it. And yeah, exactly. If you're going to spend that much on speakers, you're definitely going to go fully active. And so you'll need amplifiers to go with it and everything.
Can you highlight Zarbo Audio Projects thing? I want to personally apologize online. He emailed me like 8 days ago or something, and I have not emailed him back. I had a crazy, crazy week. So there's Thanksgiving, of course. And then Black Friday, believe it or not, my refrigerator went out. Everything died in our refrigerator. Luckily, it was Black Friday, so we went and bought a new refrigerator. And then the next day, our heat went out downstairs. I was like, what the heck? This has been crazy. So we've been trying to get like everything worked, but I am going to email you tonight after the show. So that has just been my bad. So I wanted to personally apologize on air to you.
And while y'all were doing that, I went ahead and pulled up the DSP that I put on my wish list, and that is the mini DSP CDSP 8x12. And I think that this version here for 760 comes with Direct Live as a download that you add on to the software.
Are you serious? I might see if I could get one of those, because I would love to do some stuff with that. So scroll down. Where does it say Direct Live? I don't see that.
I think it has Direct Live in it, because here's the thing. Okay, I have one of these. I bought one. I didn't go ahead and the 8x12. And I remember looking at I bought it last year, and with the intention of using it, installing it in the summer or something like that, doing a big upgrade in the truck. And I never got around to doing the upgrade in the truck. So I actually had this one right here. And what happened was it was the end of year, and I thought, you know what? I need to spend some money to minimize my tax burden. And I said, I'll use it. I'm going to go ahead and buy it. So I've got one. And what I remember is I didn't pay anywhere near that much for mine. So I'm assuming this is the one with Direct Live. And my plan was to buy it, try it out, play around with a little bit, then make some videos, and then make a video or upgrade to Direct Live. But I'm not seeing the Direct Live technology in the description. But this is the one that I would put underneath my Christmas tree, and I've got one, and I just need to use the darn thing. So this might be the most baller thing that I own, and it's sitting in a closet because I just haven't had time to really use it and install it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an upgrade. You have to pay for the Direct Live. Here's the deal. I thought when you pulled this up, because I saw Parts Express, I thought this was a new Dayton Audio file, because I saw the Dayton Audio DSP 408 underneath it. Then I realized this was the mini DSP. So I got you now. I got you.
And you can see it has the digital inputs and the high level inputs. And so, six channels of input. But it's a nice little unit, and it comes with a remote control.
Well, it definitely went up in price.
Yes, because I didn't pay anywhere near that much for it. I don't think this one has the Direct Live, and I know I didn't pay that much for it. I wouldn't have.
What's the series on? What's the series?
CDSP 8x12. This is version 2.
No, what's it? The 80. What's the model number?
The model number. I don't see a model number on the screen.
Let me see.
I mean, CDSP 8x12 is the model number.
Oh, that is the model number. Oh, yeah. It's not the Direct Live version. No, you're right.
No, it's not the Direct Live version. So the Direct Live version is even more expensive.
I don't know. At least I'm not even seeing that.
So Blake,
but either way.
So Blake, is that the version without Direct Live on their website? Because I paid less than that when I bought mine.
You can buy the Direct Live upgrade for it. It's $330 for the Direct Live upgrade. It's the 8x12 DL for Direct Live, and that does not say that. I don't wonder why it's $800 on Parts Express if it's listed for $550 on their website.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well, cool. I agree. I'm all for that. That's a cool DSP, and you could use that for home theater or car audio.
Right.
Assuming you have
anything.
An amplifier that's pre-outs. Yeah.
Right. Anything. I don't know why we'd use it in a home. You would need a 12-volt power supply. I don't think it has a plug for a home audio or anything, but you could.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
All
right. What have you got?
I'm going to show you something DIY audio related, because this is one thing that I have not ever worked with. And it's something that I would like to try. Oops, that's this. The BNC DCX 462-8 2-inch neodymium coaxial compression driver. So,
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly. I would like to use any compression coaxial. It doesn't really matter, but BNC is about the only one that you can easily purchase. I should put it that way. So this looks like a normal, just like a normal compression driver,
But it's
at
got
least
two
from the
sets of
outside,
speaker. It has two sets of speaker inputs on it.
because it actually is a mid-range and a tweeter and one that's a perfectly time aligned.
And so you mount this in a horn and a yeah.
A horn or
That's
waveguide,
weird.
and it can go down to 300 hertz. Has perfect true time alignment with no phase cancellation. It's pretty amazing. So just think about this. You could take one of these, put it in a big horn, and connect it with, say, 2 of those 21-inch subwoofers I just built, right? On either side, and have those cross over at, like, say, 300, 400, 500 hertz, somewhere in that range. And you basically have 2 21-inch subwoofers and this one driver being your main front and left right speakers, like in an MTM style configuration.
And how much is it?
This is $826.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cheap at twice the price. I'm going to order 4 of them this afternoon.
Wait, so let me show you. So you have to cross these over because there's no internal crossover. Okay. So you have to create a crossover for it.
What you need is a direct live, right? go active.
It is a direct live. So that's what it looks like. So you have your high end, you have your mid range.
Oh, clever.
They'll cross over. And then if you want, so some people say, oh, I don't want to spend that much. You don't have to necessarily, but since we were going with what would be my dream one, that's it. They do make these for the layman or me and you. And I think the compression coaxial, their cheapest one, and they're not showing it right now, is about like $300.
I like how you searched for compression and got those compression fittings.
I know, I'm like compression, and I get passive crossover. Yeah, I think they're about $300 and some for the compression.
Oh, okay. See, those make perfect stocking stuffers right there. Yeah, just get a pair of those, put in your stocking.
That's exactly right. Get them in your stocking, and you'll be happy to go. And anyway, I'm not seeing the other ones, but they sell some for like 500, some for I think maybe 300.
Yeah, but this is the ultimate Christmas wish list right here. So you wouldn't want the $500 one when you know Santa Claus can bring you the $800 one, right?
$800 ones. So here's the deal: like those would be really cool. I think they'd actually be cool in a car too if you could somehow figure out how to cross it over, because that would be like taking up very little room.
Right. And
then you could cross it over with like
some horns mounted high up here on the dash, some
coming out like where your vents typically come for the defrost, and coming out.
Just rip the dash apart, and where the speedometer is, put a horn right there. Who needs to know how fast you're going?
Just the police. Do you have any idea how fast you were going, Justin?
Know about that, the better. The less they know about that, the better, man.
Yeah, they'll pull you over. You'll say, "Do you know how fast you were going, Justin?" Justin will be like, "No, how fast?" I ripped this dash out, man. I put a horn here. Check this out.
This is something I point out to many young people. When the police pull you over and they ask, "Do you know how fast you were going?" If you give them an answer, you just confess to a crime. You always say, "I don't know how fast I was going." So maybe you don't need to know how fast you were going,
because he may not know either.
Right, he just might be all like, "Hey, I'm just here to chat. How fast were you going?" 90. Wow, that's really over the speed limit, dude.
I clocked you by eye, but I definitely didn't have radar on you.
Yeah. Okay, so I gotta answer Bobby's concern here. Bobby said if Santa's getting you the amp, get a JP95 or a JP8. And so this is my thing. The thing about the JP amps that I like are the blue ones. And I'm going to buy every blue amp they make. So if they keep making blue amps, they're going to keep selling me amplifiers. But I don't like the other colors. Now, the purple one's okay. The blue ones, it matches my color theme. So if they ever start making those other amps in blue, then I'm going to be so broke.
Oh, shoot. That's what you need for your stocking. I just realized. Paint.
What's that? Paint, so I can paint them.
It's this new product called paint. You can change it to whatever color you want. Oh, geez. We're going to have to get you a spray gun, an air compressor. You're good to go.
All right. I gotta go back to my ultimate sound quality Christmas wish list here. I did the 9-inch, front stage there. Audio control. No, excuse me, Morel. Now we got to have the 12-inch subwoofer to go with it. And so a pair of these at $1,000, $1,080 each is that's what I'm asking for Santa Claus to put under the Christmas tree right there.
And for a 12-inch subwoofer.
Yeah. It's so funny because to me, $80 is like what I like to pay for a subwoofer. This is $1,080.
Well, I just paid $1,000 for two 21-inch subwoofers. And you're like $1,000 for one 12-inch. That's crazy. That thing better sound awesome.
Oh, it better sound, it better sound amazing. What's the power handling on this thing? If anyone knows, it's probably, there we go. It's 1,000 watts, so it can handle 1,000 watts
for 12.
Yeah, it really is. Now, I mean, I've reviewed 12s that allegedly handle 1,000 watts before, and who knows if they do or not. And comes now to that is.
We're losing Justin.
What's Santa Claus going to bring us if we?
Are you back? All right. He's dyslexic.
Yeah, are we hitting in?
It's actually 21-inch.
Saying my connection is unstable.
Yeah. Well, at least someone told you.
1 inch.
Are you sure it's your connection that's unstable and not something else? And gone. All right. So let's go ahead. Oh, shoot. I can't share my screen because Justin is gone. Let's see if he comes back. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, he's not sharing. So let me go ahead and tell you about some of the other things that I would put on there. First of all, I think the Morel has always proven to be really good sound quality, so it's probably a really cool deal. I don't know that I could spend $1,000 on a 12-inch sub, but I would be very interested if I spent $1,000 on a 12-inch sub. What would that sound like? So I'm actually pretty interested in that. And we're back. Justin, you back with us?
Sorry to leave you hanging there, buddy.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm really.
We were just talking about how you were unstable
on the internet, and yes, I'm unstable. I guess I should ask Santa Claus for a better Wi-Fi connection. What's that?
Wi-Fi. Can you share my screen?
Yes, sir. Glad to do so.
All right. So we're done with the BNC. I want to talk, instead of going with another screen, I want to talk about actual speakers. So this is the ones I can't build. I can't build these style speakers. These are Martin Logan Masterpiece Classics, or ESLs. I can't build an electrostatic speaker. I personally don't have the capability of doing that. There are people that do DIY speakers like this. It's just not something I've ever done and something I would feel comfortable with. And so I would be very interested to hear these. They're supposed to be very transparent, very open. The only thing is you can't keep them. You can see, literally, they are very transparent. Yeah, can you imagine playing like hide and seek with a kid hiding behind those? I cannot see them. Actually, I'd be like, if you're behind the speaker, please move. Like, I do not want you touching that thing. They have a powered subwoofer because they don't go like real low. And I think those are very interesting style speakers that I would like to try. So it's an 8-inch aluminum cone woofers, and then you have your electrostatic transducers. I've heard a lot of great things about them. People that have them usually love them. Like I said, something I couldn't build. Now, the second pair of speakers that if I could buy would be these. These are the golden ear. And these are, so this is $7,000 a pair.
It's literally called a golden ear. Golden ear is literally the name. That's a little bit on the nose.
It's for the aficionados. Okay. So Golden Ear, actually, they came from Definitive Technology. People left Definitive Technology and created Golden Ear. And Golden Ear is known for a couple things. One, with the powered subwoofer, just like Definitive Technology is. And then they also typically use a ribbon tweeter for the tweeter. So I like them because they use these oval subwoofers that make the speaker smaller. They're powered, so you get usually a full range of sound with a 1200 watt powered subwoofer. It does have passive radiators in it, and then it has an MTM configuration up top, which I really like. Two 4.5 inch, and then the subwoofers are 5 inch by 9 inch. Two of those with DSP built in. Frequency response is from 16 hertz to 35 kilohertz. So these literally could be perfect for a home theater. So I like these. And these are definitely ones that I have on my list to maybe make my own version of.
I would love to see how to make the Golden Ear speakers for half the price or a quarter of the price or $25 or whatever the case may be.
It'd have to be a little different because I don't have 5x9 subwoofers, and I don't know anyone that does.
You can
but
get those.
You'd have
to get some 6x9 subwoofers or something like that. I'm sure Tang Band's got a 6x9 subwoofer or something.
Yeah, as long as it meets the specs of being able to DSP it low enough to get 20 good hertz out of it or whatnot. I would like to do that. I would like to build one because I don't think I'm going to spend $6,000 on a pair of speakers anytime soon. But Definitive Technologies and Golden Ear are pretty darn awesome, especially with those powered subwoofers. You can literally go without subwoofers if you wanted to, if you put those all around you, like in a 5.1 or 7.1 setup, and you'd have bass coming out of every speaker.
I'd love to see the Toys DIY version of those. I think that'd be a cool one.
Oh, someone put the Perlison THX Dominus. The Perlison is another one that would be on my list, by the way. I do like those. And we were just talking about the Perlisons not too long ago because that's another speaker that I would like to try to design something around.
All right. So I need an amplifier, a 6-channel amplifier to go with my 3-way component system for the front of my car under the Christmas tree. And for that, I'm going to go with an audio control, 125 watts by 6, the LC6-1200, which is, I don't know, it's not the most extreme expensive one out there, but honestly, I don't like the brand that was more expensive. It's not a brand that I personally like, but I think audio control is kind of cool. One thing I like about these amplifiers is they're really efficient.
That is pretty darn cool. I kind of like the old school look to it.
Yeah. I like all the controls on one side because that opens up some options for installation. I can see little windows and stuff where you can only see that part of the amp, that kind of thing.
Well, and if you ever want to make a change, it'd be very easy to do.
Yep. And they've got a DSP version of this as well. So
I like that.
And the DSP version just has D in front of the name and is a few $100 more. Yeah, the DS. That's what they got. The DS6-1200. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the DLC. Is it the DLC? Is it the DLC or the D6?
It's the LC6.1200, and the one with the DSP just has a D in front of it. I think it's the D6.1200. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not the DLC, which would be kind of funny if it was.
No,
because DLC stands for downloadable content. So then you add DSP. I don't know. It's just, never mind.
Yeah, the JP77 is blue, and it's a 7-channel amp. So there you go. That's quite the amp.
And they still make paint. Did you hear Brock earlier when I said that? He said, "Oh, guys, I'll be back. I got to go paint my amplifier." I said, "Okay." Oh, geez, that is hilarious. All right, let me leave you guys with 2 more little tiny things that I want to share, and I think you'll like them. I think you'll like them, and if I'm wrong, well, sorry. All right, can you see my screen? All right, I'm just going to assume you can see it. So this is the LG G2 OLED. They sell this both on Amazon and Crutchfield. I'm sure you can get it like a lot of other places. This is like one of the best picture qualities on television you can get. Yes, it's a 77-inch. You can get a 65-inch or 55-inch. You can actually get an 83-inch if you really want. 65 is actually pretty. It's only $2,000, which is a big difference from the 77, which is $3,600. But I figured, if I can, I'd rather go 77. I don't need an 83 in my living room, but I wouldn't mind a 77 in my living room. And this is like one of the best overall picture qualities that, as far as being reviewed for Dolby Vision, HDR10, HLG, all those HDR things. So for me, I'd like this. It also has a gaming input where you can put it on, which basically supposedly eliminates lag. I haven't seen any testing on that, so I'm not sure. You always got to take a manufacturer's specs with a grain of salt. So, but yeah, here they actually mention it there. Auto low latency mode. So, yeah.
There you go. There's your TV that you're asking Santa Claus to put under the table. So,
yeah, and if Santa wanted me
tree,
to get the 65-inch, I wouldn't be sad. All right, and then I got one
Nick,
more
what
thing.
I want to know is, are you going to send your wife a link to the stream afterwards to see if there's anything here? Is it your Christmas list?
My Christmas list became a refrigerator.
So y'all send a link to the video to your wife and just tell your wife, here's what I'm looking for Christmas. This is what I want.
Yeah, for me, go right ahead. Thank you. A Christmas gift for Toy, a 65-inch television. I'd be fine with that. So, all right, the last thing I wanted to share was this BenQ Laser Smart TV projector. Smart throw projector. This thing does 3D. And the thing that I like about this there's a lot of these new laser projectors, and the things they're ultra short throw. So this one literally only has to be, I'm not sure if it says here, but only about 9 inches away from the wall that you're projecting onto to give you a 100-inch screen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So literally sits like right, or you can build it. Some people build them in their stands now. They'll build it into the stand and it projects right onto the wall. You have a 100-inch screen right there. And then, of course, you need to get an ambient light rejection screen like this. And then you would be good. But then, and these with an ambient light rejecting screen, with this type of technology, you can literally use with all your lights on all day long. And the thing that's kind of cool about a laser projector versus a TV is, once again, it's supposed to be easier on your eyes because, once again, it's not projecting straight at you. So,
right.
Take that for what it's worth.
Well, there you go. All right. I got another one for you.
Oh, yes. What is it?
All right. Okay. If you're going to have the big expensive 12-inch subwoofer, you need an equally overpriced amplifier to drive it. $900 for the audio control LC 1.1500. These things are good amplifiers. Are very efficient, and that's 1,500 watts at 2 ohms. So you can hook up your dual 4 ohm subwoofer to it, and there you go. You're off and running. So that's plenty of power for that big Morel subwoofer. Now, are there more expensive amps on Crutchfield? Sure, but they're brands I don't like and don't want to see them under the tree. So
I was gonna say that doesn't really seem overpriced to me.
When you consider that there are so many other amplifiers out there that will put out far more power for a lot less money, that's the thing about it. Right. Now, of course, it is a good amp. It's not that it's a bad amp. It's just an expensive amp is all.
Well, and what I mean is initially, you also got to put into like life expectancy. And typically I would imagine with a name brand like Audio Control, you would assume that it's going to last a little bit longer.
You would hope. Yeah, you would hope. But this is, again, this is a Christmas wish list, right?
Yeah.
I would love to have a system with all matching amplifiers. And so that's why these 2 amplifiers are on my Christmas list.
So here's the deal. I think that you and I actually left the stream, the final thing of our stream, with actually what I would say fairly affordable.
Not that far out of line, really. Yeah, not that far out of line. Not everything under the tree has to be top of the line over expensive. So
yeah, like a 65-inch television for $2,000 Is it expensive compared to like what you can get a budget 65-inch television for? Yeah, you can get a 65-inch television for like $500-600 now. But is it really like that crazy for top to line? I don't think so. And you $900 for a 1500-watt amplifier, isn't that 2 ohm stable as well?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good. I think that's down for sound's way cheaper. That's true. But still, I think it's very reasonable.
All right. Well, Nick, have you hit everything on your Christmas list?
I did. I just figured I'll hit it real hard because I saw we were running out of time, and
I've not hit everything on mine because I'm greedy and I want everything I can possibly get. I want Santa Claus
to know.
I
want this on mine. I want this on mine too.
So this is one of those things that's on my Christmas list. It's just about $3,700. This is the SMD AD1. And I was doing some amp dynoing in the garage working on a project, and I realized I need to buy more resistors to test bigger amps. And then I thought, well, how much are these, right? Because resistors start to add up when you start buying a bunch of them. And this is one of those things that, if my channel keeps growing, I could almost justify the tax write-off next year for something like this.
I agree.
Santa Claus wants to bring it to me this year, and then I can justify the tax write-off this year.
Yeah.
So those who don't know, this is the amp dyno that Big D Wiz and everyone else who has an amp dyno uses. Takes about 12 weeks to build it. They build them on order. Basically, it's a giant stack of resistors and a microprocessor inside of it, and it does some switching with some buttons, and you can measure the power output of an amplifier. And I wouldn't mind having one.
Now, and that's cool too, because you can do that with any amplifier. It can be a home theater amplifier. It can be anything. I guess I should have put a clipple on mine, but
that would be nice.
Or an audio analyzer, either of those. But I didn't put any of those on there because.
And I would still love to get one of these DMRTA Pro kits. I'm still having trouble getting Room EQ Wizard to work for me. The problem I have is that my laptop is the signal coming in isn't loud enough, and so I'm not getting accurate results with Rue. And so I either need to buy a much more expensive laptop or buy one of these. And I'd love to have a DMRTA. And another thing that I would love to have would be an audio precision. That would be the ultimate test gear right there.
Yeah, a lot of people complain about me because I don't always speak highly of Rue and thing. And I have nothing against Rue. I think it's a fan. In fact, I love Rue. It's free, which is awesome.
Right.
But free also typically comes with caveats. And I don't mean that negatively. It just does. And in my opinion, Rue, for a lot of people, they don't end up using it right because there's a lot of options and things you need to go into to change to get proper good measurements.
And what is it you use? It's OmniMic?
I use the OmniMic because it's much easier. It's it does pretty much all the work for you, which is great. But I honestly, I want people to know I don't hate Rue. I just want you to know that if you go into the Rue and do that aspect, it usually is going to take you a lot more time to learn it. Well, so it's very powerful, very powerful.
So Brian, still a question for you then is, I've already got a USB mic. I can buy an external USB card. Is that I have no idea what I need. It's an area that I know nothing about. And so I'm just looking at it going, I don't know what to buy. So there you go. Well, awesome. Well, tell us what's going on your channel, Nick. What do you got coming on?
My video for this week actually fell through. So we were talking about that earlier today. I can't give that one away yet. Well, I can tell you this. I am building an amplifier. So I can tell you that, but I'm not quite ready to put that out this week. So I have these Edifier speakers. They're actually relatively inexpensive. They're about $100, I think, for these little desktop. They're powered speakers, desktop kind of monitors. And so I'm going to review those, and I'm also going to do testing on it. So I'm going to give you the on-axis frequency response, the off-axis frequency response, and I'm also going to give you the frequency response of it, like in a normal desktop environment. Like if you were going to put these on your desk, what is the frequency response going to look like, most likely. And so I want to kind of do that for you and then let you know whether I recommend them or I don't recommend them. They're very inexpensive. So if you're looking for desktop speakers, I think it's a video that you would enjoy and see like what can you actually get for $100. And I want to start testing more of the pre-made speakers because I have all the equipment to do it. So why not?
So why not? Right.
Yeah, and there's and honestly, it just gives you information on whether you may or may not want to purchase those $100 speakers. Because a lot of times when we see reviews, and I'm guilty of this myself, is we go a lot off of subjectiveness. What did we think about it? And so I want to get some objective material on some of these speakers so that way you can actually look at the objectives and I can show you also from a design aspect why they chose certain design things and whether I like or don't like that design choice. There are some design choices that I like on those edifiers and some that I'm like, I don't know about that one. Although for the type of speaker they are, it probably makes sense.
Well, awesome. I just uploaded a video that seems to be getting some good feedback on a head unit that had some surprising features. It's one of these Android units that some random company I never heard of wanted me to test. And it turns out that it's got a pretty good preamp section on it and a halfway decent digital signal processor. And I've got a couple of videos in process. I still have that hi-fi kit that I had the absolute fail with the vinyl that I've got the new veneer on it, but I still got to cut out the speaker holes and actually finish assembling the kit. And so I've got that and a couple other videos in idea and process stage. What's going to come out next? I don't know. You'll be surprised because I'm not sure what I'm going to do next.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's going to be really, really cool. I can't wait to see those. And I did enjoy both of those videos that you put out. The hi-fi kit I thought was really good, and I thought the head unit, the max speeding or whatever, and
speed runs,
max speed runs,
yeah,
whatever. I thought that was a good one. I'm sorry, I can't call it that. The MSR, I like the MSR one as well.
All right. Well, if nothing else, I think it's time for us to sign off. Nick, I'll see you on the next one.
All right, we're out.